Welcome back to the studio. Today I'm introducing you to my favorite acoustic guitar of all time, the Martin D-18. So I have some images I'm going to roll through as I talk about the guitar. But some key components to this one. This is a 2019 model. And I feel like old kind of Martin history. The D-18 was more the workhorse, where the D-28 was kind of your getting into your finer wine, if you will, of guitar with the rosewood. I think that in years since they changed over to the new style in 2012, I believe, the mahogany guitars are becoming more popular in a lot of ways. At least in my eyes, and a lot of players' eyes, I see a lot of mahogany Martins out there. It used to be just considered, it's a cheaper wood. Maybe doesn't resonate as well as rosewood or give you that deep bass that people love and dread, and it has a more even tone. It definitely has all that in this, but I think because of the forward shifted X bracing on here, whereas in the old D-18s that I played, that do sound a little muddied and maybe not as chimey, they have the old X bracing, which is shifted back towards the bridge, whereas this is really close to the sound hole. And what that does, I'm no guitar luthier, but I've read about it, and what that does is give it more of a bass heavy sound, which is great for a mahogany guitar that kind of lacks that. It certainly makes up for it with the new bracing system. It makes the guitar top a little bit more brittle over time, I suppose. So you just want to make sure you hydrate it, as much as possible. The tuners on here are really cool. The open gear Grovers in this sense, and they are just beautiful. They look old world. You have the brass button in the middle there, and then, or the gear rather, the brass gear in the middle of it, and then the butterbean knobs is what they're called. And I just love the look. It's so classy. The headstock decal is the old silkscreen decal rather than the raised foil, the gold foil that Martin had been known for. They kind of just went retro with this guitar, but the cool parts are the modern parts, the forward shifted X bracing, which actually is a callback to their, I think, pre-World War II Martins that they had in production. They also went to the, instead of a rosewood fingerboard and bridge, it's an ebony fingerboard and bridge, and wow, I mean, I noticed a difference. It's just like butter playing across. I feel like it's a more premium wood, a little harder, I think, too, just as far as the stiffness goes. The grain is tighter, I'll say, than rosewood, and it gives it that classier kind of piano black look. But there's some inflections in mine too. It also comes with the abalone inlays. Unfortunately, the tortoiseshell binding on this is kind of hidden by the fact that it's glossed over, but also I think they just chose a really darker version of it instead of having it be a little bit brighter and more pronounced. Now when you're out in the sun, you can really see it, and I'll have some images about that, I think, showing in your screen in a moment. And that really looks cool. Mahogany neck as well on this. And the beveled pickguard I really love because, that it just shows a little extra classy touch, I think, from Martin to put the bevel on. Just a little stylistic thing that you can't tell unless you're close up to it, but something that just really looks awesome. The choice of woods is just beautiful. It smells great. I can't get over the smell of this thing, but let's get into the guitar itself. So I'm just going to give you the G chord in various positions here. So where I like to play is right behind the sound hole to give it just the most powerful punch, but also get a nice solid ring to each note. So this is the G chord just strummed naturally here. And you can hear sustains for days. If you want to hear a little bit of the bridge tone, if you will, if people like to pick back here, here's what you're going to get. And you neck pickers, if you like more the neck side of thing, this is how that would sound. And you can see where I like to play right behind the sound hole is just my favorite because I get the tone I want. So, natural harmonics on this. I want to try and show some of its bassy ability. Hopefully you heard some of that. It's just an Olympus, camera here. It's an HD camera, but I'm not sure if it's going to pick up all the frequencies. But I just like to use a room mic. It's a larger room down here, in the studio, so it does get a little bit boomier. But hopefully you're getting the picture. I also have a Capo here to try some Capo stuff, so I'm just going to play us through some acoustic songs and see what you think. We'll do some Counting Crows to start here. So you get that's more the chordal stuff. As far as finger picking goes, here's a little Weezer song I love called "My Name Is Jonas." I really always love playing this. When I play finger picked, it's the first thing I go to. So. You can get a little dust in the wind type stuff, like. So you can hear the finger pick, the fleshy kind of sound. It definitely lowers the volume as any finger picking would, but you still get to hear the crisp beauty of the tone. And I'll do some arpeggiated stuff as well, just to give an idea. Another really good one would be like "Send Me On My Way" from Rusted Root. Like. Shows you the transitional ability of the guitar from finger pick to strummed again. Its solo ability is pretty, I think, great too. This is maybe where it lacks a little bit of horsepower compared to a D-18, or sorry, a D-28, which is kind of known for its more like flat picking bluegrass. Ability to really sharply stand out in a mix. Now, I'm no bluegrass player here, but this is kind of a cool arpeggiated type of lead from Nickel Creek called "This Side," I believe is the name of the song. So let's see if I remember how to play it. So you hear a nice ring on those drone type notes. Very nice, right? Let's do some Capo work here. Got my trusty Capo. This is a Kaiser, just in case anyone was wondering. And it's really cool too because it's got like a bandana look. I think that's pretty sweet. Hopefully got that in the camera, but I thought it was awesome when I saw it. I bought this in Nashville, and I've never seen one since, at least not in the store. So I had to get it. Here's a little Tom Petty. I'll sing a little bit with this one just so you can get an idea of how a voice sits with the mix, you know, the scooped kind of level, the mids here. Or actually, it wouldn't be scooped. Scooped would be more of a D-28 where it has a space for a vocal to sit. But I feel like this one fits my style of vocal. Maybe it won't for yours, but let's just hear how that sounds together here. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong in a boat out at sea. So hopefully that gives you an idea, some clarity. You can rewind that and just listen to the vocal and how it sits. This will brighten it up, having the capo on there, of course. For just a normal song, we can do the Lumineers. This one, let's see. This one's called, what is it called? Flowers in Her Hair. We were younger, thought everyone was on our side. They grew a little, they romanticized the time I saw flowers in your hair. Takes a boy to live, takes a man to pretend he was there. And I switch to the chorus. Me and my eyes, me and my heart, me and my eyes, me and my heart. Gotta warm up those vocals, kids, alright? You screech like I was. Anyways, my total review of this is just simply that it is one of the finest guitars in the Martin fleet. Don't sleep on the D-18. You know, it is kind of the Telecaster of the Martin line, or maybe the Stratocaster of the Martin line would be the D-28. But this one, I just feel the mahogany guitars have caught up in my mind as far as tone, and just the if you can hear it through the screen, I hope you can. It's just got a woody, natural tone. It's what I hear in my ears when I think of just an acoustic guitar that I've heard recorded thousands of times. The acoustic guitar in my head is this model. I just can't say more about it than that. It is just the rock, the standard upon which so much music has been written. And plenty of songs were recorded on a D-18. You know, very famous players such as, you know, Elvis and people like that have used D-18s. I know Neil Young has used a D-18. He's more popularized maybe for his D-45, I think, and his D-28s, but he definitely uses a D-18 at times. And again, I think the mahogany guitars have really made their rounds. When I was growing up, I always was seeking out that D-28. I love the look of that tuxedo kind of double bound body with the white binding, and certainly that chocolate color on the back and sides for rosewood. And I did have a rosewood Martin before this, but I thankfully live in Pennsylvania. I can drive to the Martin Nazareth factory in about 45 minutes. So on a couple camping trips, I would come back down through, play at their 1833 shop, and you get to play basically all the quality of Martin you want. You could go all the way down to the Road series, you know, and the X series stuff, all the way up to like the CEO models that are custom, and the D series standard stuff. So every time I went in that guitar shop, the 1833 shop, I would come out of there saying, wow, this D-18, it speaks to me, you know, and that's what you should do when you go to a guitar store. I'm not saying you need to buy a D-18. You're going to get my endorsement today. But you need to go in there and play all the stuff, you know, play all the different styles. Your style might be way different than mine. I tend to be a heavy-handed acoustic player. I can get articulate, and my arpeggios are a little more soft, you know, and I can finger pick too, but this does everything I want it to, and without the sacrifice of, I guess, you know, having the, I haven't had a cutaway before, and I feel like it definitely takes away a little bit of the bigness of the tone, the largeness of the tone, if you will. But every time I went to that Martin factory, I came out of there playing all the guitars, and my favorites, two favorites, were always the Martin D-18, and also the all mahogany, the Triple O 15, and that's a beautiful guitar too in its own right. I think that small body gives it a little more brightness since it has an all mahogany body and mahogany top that can tend to dull the tone. But that's a beautiful guitar, and I would say a very close second as well is the Martin CEO that Christopher Martin developed himself, a Sunburst model. So I hope you check one out. I really encourage you to check out the newer D-18s. Like I said, mine's a 2019 model. I put in LR bags, what is it called, Anthem SL pickup in there, and I really love it. It's a very natural pickup with a mic and a piezo, so it's got a nice blend. Highly suggest that if you want to, you know, amplify them, or just mic it, you know, close mic it, but you can't go wrong with some LR bags. It's good stuff, and I'm not sponsored or anything. I just like it. So thank you for coming, thank you for listening, and thanks for checking out my prized D-18. This is my baby. I'm gonna die with this guitar.